And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beal sitting next to Trenton Magid from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing. Glad that you have joined us here today. And Trenton and I had a nice opportunity a couple of days ago. We toured the brand new Farnam Hotel. This is the hotel that is just about ready to open inside the Landmark building at 13th and Farnam, between Farnam and Harney. And we have with us the developers, Jason and Angie Fisher. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot for having us here.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And by the way, first of all, thank you for that tour. The property is amazing, absolutely beautiful. Trent and I both just loved touring it. Can you guys give us a little bit of an overview of what the Farnam is, what it's going to look like, and what sets it apart?
Sure. I'll start. And congrats on this show. You guys do an amazing job, and I subscribe to the YouTube channel. So
thank you.
Anxious to see
Ringing
that too.
endorsement, ladies and gentlemen.
Our journey started in 2018 when a group of investors with us purchased the building. It was an 15-story office building, all glass. It's the building with the peaks for those that aren't familiar. And originally we thought we were going to convert some of the vacant floors to luxury apartments. And we ran into some challenges with the mixture of those two uses, office and apartments, and started to explore hospitality and really didn't want to do it wasn't our intent to get into hospitality, but if we were going to do it, we wanted to do something that was, raise the bar for all of Omaha. So we ended up with an autograph collection, Marriott by Marriott, which is, their tagline is exactly like nothing else. And so it's the best of both worlds from our perspective. Boutique. We got to develop the brand story and make all the interior decisions, but we get the largest reservation system in the world right now with Marriott. So the journey has been challenging at times, and a lot of couples I think struggle with building a house together, and we're still married.
Still married.
And actually we've enjoyed every minute. I think we've disagreed about 5 times, and she won all 5 of those, so it turned out good.
5 times with 27 subparts, right?
Yeah, good point.
Exactly as it should be.
You said something about on the tour that, and we went through the whole thing. You guys gave a great tour, and what did you say? There was like 20,000. How many boxes do you think that were delivered? All the equipment and room, everything.
Yeah, what you don't think about, I think we have over 1,500 individual SKUs just in furniture, fixtures, and equipment, and then you start bringing in linens and all the hotel stuff, plates, and et cetera. The group thinks we're well over 15,000 packages to stock the hotel, so it's crazy.
Okay, Angie. So you conceive of this a repurpose of a very beautiful building that was known as the U.S. West building. It was known as, now I think they call it CenturyLink.
Landmark building.
Yeah, Landmark, and so you put all these pieces together, and Jason is obviously an expert and well versed at real estate transactions, very complicated real estate project, but it's also it's also you're creating a new business. It's either a license agreement or a franchise with Marriott, and then you have all their standards, and then you have branding and all that kind of stuff. Can you address how all that goes together, or at least touch on it? I know it's only an hour show.
Yeah, it's an incredibly complex process that I would not have even ventured to guess about prior to diving right into it. So we really started with an agreement with Marriott that we wanted to do this. They felt like it was a good location for this.
Well, microphone will malfunction.
Yeah, that's all right. And so then we started with the development of a brand story. That's the foundation for the whole development of the hotel project. And so you start with this development story. Ours is really a story about Omaha, which we hope is exactly what Omaha needs, kind of in the way of advertisement. Honestly, we think Omaha is this surprising, booming, progressive, entrepreneurial place. And when people come to Omaha, I don't know, for all of us who are from here, everyone's surprised when they come here. And so we wanted to kind of encapsulate that surprise and the interest that Omaha has, the art scene, the music scene, just kind of be progressive, but still with a significant root in Omaha history. So we've brought in a lot of interesting tidbits of Omaha history, starting with Lone Tree Landing is the name of our marketplace, where we'll have a barista and all of those things. But Lone Tree Landing is actually the spot where the ferry boat crossed the Missouri River for actually where Omaha was born. So
Did not know that.
the roots. Yeah. So we started there and kind of built on that. And, we really hope that the feeling and the image that people see and get from being in our space is something that exemplifies kind of how exciting Omaha actually is that people don't know.
And Jason, you haven't been, as best I know, you haven't been in the restaurant business, but you decided to start 3 new restaurants as part of this project, right?
Yeah, we're a hospitality business and including food and beverage. So, to tag on to what Angie said, to develop the brand story, we had consultants come in. They spent 10 days, and they learned more about Omaha than in many cases I knew. And there were some themes that started coming out, that how sophisticated it was, but it's not stuffy, and how culturally rich the offerings were. So that's what we're trying to bring. That led us into the food and beverage space as well, and a big part of your experience, especially at an Autograph Collection hotel, is the food and beverage. So in addition to developing the Farnam brand hotel, we developed 2 restaurant concepts. The signature restaurant's called Dynamite. It's centered around this special natural wood-fired grill and oven called Jade. And
big flames, ladies and gentlemen.
Big flames.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it's a really elegant space. And the menu is going to be exactly like nothing else in Omaha. There'll be a lot of seafood, obviously a lot of steaks. There's a 46-ounce tomahawk they've got a really cool preparation for 2 people, but it's not a steakhouse, and it's a real diverse menu that I think people are going to really, really like.
We were in there, and they were making they took corned beef and they were making Reuben balls and
croquettes.
Yeah, croquettes. Yeah,
that might be a better
That's
word.
the official term. Yeah.
But the wood fired oven was not only something that probably makes great cuisine, but my goodness, it was visually almost shocking because it's behind this open kitchen bar sort of thing, and you look at it and it's huge, and there's flames in 3 different spots. It's visually impressive.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? There's a lot of design. There's too many design elements to talk about in this segment. But if you talk about that, we've got several tributes, if you will, to sort of the Mercer family and M's Pub and Dynamite, as you would expect. There's charred. There's a smoky element, and one of the things we have, and there's a really dramatic lighting. We've got this high definition dynamite explosion mural on the ceiling. But we had the art installation that we have in the private dining that you saw actually is charred joist timber from the M's Pub fire that our project lead, Tim Mettenbrink, and his lovely wife, Betty, installed for us. And it's dramatic. It's beautiful. It's really, industrial, cool. And then when you hear the story, I think it's really cool.
And a shout out to Tim Mettenbrink, our friend who has experience in Hawaii and around the world in putting together hotels, and he's a big part of your team, I know. Yeah,
it's a village. To pull this off, Angie and I get to be I'll be the voice. She can be the face. But it is an immense number of team members that made it all happen, and just really, really proud. We're really proud.
Ladies and gentlemen, you should have seen when I asked these two, so what's your next project? And I don't think they've had time to stop in the last couple of years about what that is. And interested to know, on top of everything else, and nobody had any idea in 2018 or 19, or I guess at the end of 19, but the coronavirus hitting, I can only imagine what you were thinking when that happened. Not only you're learning a new trade and a new business and everything else, what went through your thought of the first 5 months, your thought process during the first 5 months of the pandemic?
Well, fortunately for us, our timing could have been a lot worse. So we were doing development, and we were, sourcing all of our custom furniture and all of those things, and much of that came from overseas. So we did definitely learn a lot about the supply chain and how it works and how it doesn't work. And
disruption.
Yeah, we had a lot
the bad part,
of
when you
hiccups.
want to disrupt an industry, you don't want to have a disrupted supply chain.
Yeah, so we did have a lot of issues with that. We had to reselect a lot of different things because the manufacturers closed. And so it definitely created more layers to the already multitude of layers of development. But the good news is it was kind of trial by fire, and we're pretty much ready for anything. So if we decide to do another development project down the road, we've got it.
I couldn't say my thoughts on the air, but when you asked that question, but on top of it, Angie's a physician out at Lakeside, and so we had that sort of stress in the background. But the supply chain thing is something that most people just don't really understand, and we're going to open May 13th, and that's later than we wanted, and it got costlier, and there was no way around it. Just the supply chain reselecting. Air freight in some cases, it just drove the project costs up. But we still have a container with some quartz tops that is sitting in Long Beach. It's been there for 3 weeks, and they don't know when we'll see it. So we've had to.
It's buried.
Yeah, it's buried.
Buried.
Yeah, but
in
what?
the queue.
Yeah, but timing feels really good right now. I think people are craving experiences. They're going to get one that's different, and we think better. Than others in the region, and the response has been incredible when we do tours, and we appreciate you guys coming down. Had a good time with you, so thanks.
Well, it's called the Farnam, and it's beautiful. It's inside the landmark building, as they said, opening on May 13th. So when that happens, go and check it out. They mentioned the Dynamite Restaurant, but there's the Catalyst Lounge with an outdoor component to it, a lobby lounge and bar and all that. You're gonna enjoy it. Jason and Angie Fisher, we appreciate you joining us.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for your investment in our city. So Jason and Angie Fisher with the Farnam. And we're going to take our middle of the show break. When we come back, we're going to bring on Matt Taylor. He is in charge of the Interrail Food Hall at Exarban, going to talk to us about some interesting things happening there. All of that and more. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.